Not a lot of us here are coming, but in the meantime, if you stand and sing, "Oh, come all you faithful," the third and last verse. Well, this is a wonderful time of year. It's the time of year that everybody remembers to thank everybody else, and everybody remembers to smile and say Merry Christmas, and it would be nice if we could just say Merry Good Day every day, and that would be wonderful. We'd like to acknowledge, of course, all of our wonderful helpers that are in this church. And you keep us running each week, and all the other people like Jean and Celia, which are our music ministers, as well as Iris, who is unable to be here today because they've gone to Garibaldi to visit with their family. So unfortunately they couldn't join us today, but we'll send them good wishes as they join with their family over there. And we'd like to thank all the people that all year round, all our volunteers, and Maureen, who is our volunteer coordinator, and we thank you for joining us today. And I just looked down there and seen a familiar face and just fell over. My son Chris and his daughter Crystal have come to the service. And so welcome. So welcome. It is a great pleasure to have my family turn up from time to time. So that's wonderful. So if you would like to look at the fact that we are going to do the service a little differently, we're going to start with the healing. And so if everybody would just kind of get really comfortable, and we'll put on the healing meditation. Any of the people that would need healing, go to the little red circle at the back there, and the healing facilitator will work with you.
Position and take your thoughts inward and outward to the spot in the universe where God resides and healing begins. Allow the energy to move through the tips of your toes, moving upwards or round and round the body, and allow it to come up through the top of the head and flow over the body like a gentle summer rain. As you breathe in again, feel the energy bringing alive all the cells in the body that work together with all of the organs. And allow those organs to be like a wonderful symphony concert orchestra that play their instruments independently, but they play with such harmony and such rhythm that they are working for the whole beauty of the piece they are playing. And as you breathe the energy in and revitalize all of the energies in the body, in the cells, in the organs, know that you are doing that to bring healing to the whole. And as the energy comes in again through the tips of the toes, allow it to expand into the mind. Let the mind open and be receptive. Let the mind be positive and be healthy, so that it may touch the dreams, the ideas that God has to make you all that you can be. Allow those dreams, those thoughts, those energies to come through the mind to healthy growth, so that they will grow and produce the dream that God has for you. Breathing in again, allow yourself to come in touch with the Spirit, that part of yourself that is always perfect. And allow the Spirit to communicate to the mind and the body what it needs for this journey that it is having in this physical existence. And as you have healed your own self, body, mind, and spirit. Be like a pebble in a great pond of energy, and allow your energy to move forward and ripple outward, and let it touch each member in the room. And joining together, allowing the energy to draw through everyone to facilitate the healing. Taking a deep breath now, think about outside of this room, into the community of your family, the community around you, of your teachers and your leaders, and allow that energy to ripple out and touch all of them, so that they too may experience the wonderful healing, the wonderful peace. Allow that energy now to go forward into the world, and not only touch the world's leaders, but to touch the animals, the vegetation, the waters, the atmosphere, so that they may be healed. And let us be thankful to the animals and the vegetation and the minerals that give of themselves and serve us so greatly and feed us so well. Allow us now to reach out into the universe, into other parts of the universe that we are not familiar with, or many mansions in God's world that we are not aware of every room and every mansion. But we send love and we send caring, for God promises us that love and healing is never ending. And all we need to do is ask, and the energy will follow the intention of the thought, and the healing will begin. Now, as we circle back to the seat of the soul, take a few moments just to sit quietly before you come back to your everyday, workaday world, to enjoy the tranquility and the peace of the healing area of your garden, the inner garden of healing. And know that you may visit here at any time, and God has promised the love and the healing is never ending. So open your hearts, your mind, and your hand. God bless you, and He sends His angels to keep after you.
it's lovely to get that nice quiet meditation and healing up, and hopefully that we start in our little corner, start with peace here. Now we are going to have our great celebration starting now, and I'm going to ask if the 3 people who are in our ministerial training would come forward to the front, please. 3 of the ministerial training people. One girl is here in spirit. She's up in Van. And I would like to introduce Derrick Whiteskycloud. You turn around, Derrick, and say hi. Maureen Lum and Lynn White. And if I could ask Derrick, we see that Mrs. Collingworth, which is Phyllis, who had lost 3 members of her family, was going to light the candle, but she's been very ill, and she was going to try to get here. So Derrick, would you light the candles that are on there for us? And if the other 2 girls would just give the candles that are in the box out to everybody. So these candles, the first candle is being lit, and that is for everybody here, every member, to think about the people that are in spirit, that are in their family. The second candle is being lit for Will Collington. And the third candle and fourth candle will be lit for 2 of the Collington girls that have passed into spirit. And Phyllis and her daughters would have liked to have been here today, but unfortunately Phyllis hasn't been feeling well since she returned from Mexico. Got some kind of bug down there, I think. So we'll say a little prayer for Phyllis as well. We're going to pass out candles, and that will be the beginning of our candlelight service. I'm going to say a small prayer once they're all lit, and then we're going to have some music, first by Celia, and then by Jean. Musical tributes while we sit and sing along with the music. your dawn, see our lights, reflecting the universe and the love that you give to us. Let us carry the light of the love to the warmth of every corner of the heart of each person that we meet. And before Jean does her part of the ceremony, I'm going to ask Reverend Joyce Slamin if you would like to talk a little bit about Christmas.
Good morning. Good morning. This is a time of memories. Not memories of yesterday, but of yesterday. I've got memories that go back a long, long time. Time when I was a kid. We had nothing, nobody expected anything, but we had a wonderful time because we had family with us. Mum had a big house. Aunts, uncles, cousins, family and friends all congregated at my mum's house at Christmas. And to hear them sing there is something that has stayed with me from being 10, 11, 12 years of age. Because that was when the war was on. And to hear people sing there, to share the love that we all had for one another, was something that we don't see today. We had wonderful times. We sang Christmas carols. After dinner, we'd sing more Christmas carols. And then, of course, the men used to go in the parlour and the ladies in the kitchen with mother. And the boys had fun in the parlour. It was a time, there was so much love that was given to each and every one of us. And of course, I met my wonderful husband. We got married. Our firstborn came, Richard. To watch him at that first Christmas, there was still very little, but more than we'd had for many years. And it was the little of the family shop for my son. Then the next time, it was in school. And I think most of you know in England the children start school on the 5th birthday. Well, anyway, the Christmas, Richard was in the Christmas nativity play. I believe it or not, he was one of the 3 kings. Could you imagine what a 5-year-old was like as one of the kings? And he wasn't the only one, the 2 of us then. They had no lines to say because we couldn't remember. But with such a lot of fun watching those children, watching them go and pick the doll up that was in the manger. It's those happy memories that we hold on to. And I want to ask each and every one of you, think back over the Christmases with your family, with your friends, yes, and even with your animals. You can hold on to so much love. This is what counts. And I've said this for many, many years, and I'll keep on saying it as long as I can. There's 3 little words that are not said enough in families. And those 3 little words are, I love you. Hold on to it. I say that to my children, even now my grandchildren are in the 20s. Before me, and when we come to the end of our song, they will say, I love you, Nana. And that means more to me than anything. Hold on to them thoughts. Hold on to your memories. And be happy to be here to celebrate with family and friends. Thank you so much for letting me share this.
Now we're going to ask Joyce, your Joyce, Jean, too many J's, I guess. Okay. Jean, would you like to share your music with us, please?
There's quite a few verses in there. Did you want all of those verses?
Yeah, so we're going to have them, I think there's 3 of them there. Four? 5. We'll start with the first Noel deck for all of us. And I hear the bells on Christmas Day. That's the 3 that Steve is going to hear. And then we're going to have a lovely tribute with both our musicians. That will be lovely. maybe need some help there?
I think that's it.
Okay, we'll just continue on. Is it okay? All right, okay. Alrighty, so now we're going to do the last one, and that is Fear the Devil on Christmas Day. This is one of my favorites. And that is number 5. That is it. No, we got 5, fine.
The real number 5.
Joyce and I sing in the cracks. So thank you to our both our pianists. And we're going to do one. They're going to sing and play. Jean's going to sing the song. Do you want to do that now, or we go on?
Yes, I'm sure you all know we're voting night. So let's get along.
So Jean's going to sing, and Julie's going to play, and we're so fortunate because we have such wonderful musicians that join us and help us as a music. Because it was divided, Joyce and I were singing. Yes.
It is not
Thank you. Beautiful. Well, this is the Christmas season, and I can remember when my husband and I were quite young, and we had 2 small children, and we had what they call Irish twins. One that was just a year older than the other one. And the one little boy had just been a year and a half, and our daughter was 6 months old. And we've been hit on a little bit of hard time. And we thought, what are we going to do? We have enough money to get our Christmas dinner and all the nice trimmings, or we can buy presents for the children. So we thought, and came to the conclusion that Santa Claus would arrive via the grandparents, and that we would take our money and we would buy ourselves a beautiful dinner to celebrate Christmas with our children and sing Christmas carols and sing prayers. So we knew what it was to have hard times, but we never, ever, in all the times that we've gone through hard times, ever gone without food. Well, many years later, we were very affluent. We had 5 children. And our children had wonderful Christmases. It was a joy to get up. Well, in fact, we used to wake them up about 2 o'clock in the morning and say, Santa's arrived. Come on, kids, let's open up the presents, because I had this horrible thought that they would get up and have Christmas without us. Because I'd done that once when I was about 4 years old. I had Christmas without my parents. Opened everything under the tree because my dad had taught me to read the name Barbara. But he didn't read to or from, just the name. And so I had opened every present under the tree, and my mother came out and was having an absolute conniption fit because all the presents she'd wrapped for aunts and uncles and cousins were also all open. And I think I had discovered when I opened the pipe I gave my dad that I maybe was on the wrong end of the stick. About that time when my mom came out and was having a fit. My dad came out and thought it was quite amusing, but that kind of stuck in my mind. So I thought, I am going to make a practice that we will have our opening, and then the kids could play with that. We could get another couple hours sleep, and then we'd get up and have a nice breakfast. Well, as it so happened, these children do grow up, and they get to the point that they can stay in bed till morning. And so Christmas came one year, and the youngest boy was just learning to read the clock. So I said, all right, this year, no Christmas until 7 o'clock in the morning. So all of a sudden, the youngest boy, who was into celebration anyway, didn't matter if it was your birthday, his birthday, whatever, he would have everybody up. 5 o'clock in the morning, say, what's the matter with you? It's your birthday today. Get out of bed, So when he came running into his dad and I, and jumping up and down on our bed, and said, come on, it's 10 after 7. It's 10 after 7. And I kind of shake awake. I thought I didn't have much sleep. It was a very short night. Anyway, we got up, and it wasn't 10 after 7. It was 25 to 2. So we did another opening presents in the middle of the night. Well, as it so happened, then they grew up past that, and they were at the stage where it was wonderful to have Christmas, as it is right now. It's still wonderful, no matter what, to have Christmas, and you have that spirit in your heart. But when they get to a certain age, and they haven't gotten old enough to get married and have grandchildren yet, but they're past that, bright-eyed, dazzled look that they get in Christmas morning, about that time it was trying to pry their eyes open on Christmas morning and keep them awake. But anyway, Ozzy and I looked at each other and we said, we're pretty affluent these days. We've got everything we ever will need. And we can buy things that we choose to buy at any time. We walk down the street and see something we like. We didn't waste money, but we could buy something. It just seemed like Christmas this year, they had nice presents for the children and everything, but a little bit of the shine had gone, and I think some of the parents here can understand that. So we so happened to hear a radio broadcast, and I call this Goddessons, because the radio broadcast was saying that there was a shortage of food downtown where they were packing the hampers for the Christmas cheer. They were short of food, would not be able to get all the hampers out. Well, as we own grocery stores, Ozzy and I said, well, why don't we pack up the van full of stuff, then we'll take it down to the Christmas cheer. We got downtown with all this, and it was making us feel kind of good about ourselves, that, like we were giving something back. So we get downtown and we get to the church, and they said, you have a van, you don't think you could deliver some of the stuff for you? Well, we said, sure, why not? And I'd like to share with you, and some people that are here might have heard this story before, but I'd like to share this with you. One of the first houses that we went to was a 3-story Victorian home. In the top story, there was a young woman with 2 small children dragging at her skirt, and very close to having her 3rd child. We came up the stairs with 2 boxes of groceries about this size. And as we started up the final flight of stairs, she stood at the top of the stairs and cried. She said, I have never seen that many groceries all together at one time. And it really kind of hit us right in the solar plexus, I guess. Oh my God. This poor girl's got 2 children, another one coming. She's never seen 2 boxes of groceries at one time. So we came out of there and we thought, well, we're so much happier now that we're doing something, we're helping in some way. The second place that I want to talk about, we went to many, many that day, but the second one was a veteran from the Second World War. And he hit on hard times, and he was a very proud man. And somebody had submitted his name, he certainly didn't submit it himself. And when we knocked on the door, he wasn't going to receive the groceries and gifts that were there. And I said, oh, please, sir, you gave so much of your time during the Second World War so that we can celebrate Christmas, so that we can have Christmas. Please allow us to do this for you. So we went in and we gave him the groceries and we gave him a hug and wished him Merry Christmas and came out of there. We continued on in our deliveries, and every case that we've seen was making us feel better within ourselves that at least for one day there was something going to be on their table. We came to a complex where it is a low-income complex, subsidized, and practically everybody in that complex received a box, with the exception of one next door to where we were delivering, and we could not get an answer. But when we knocked and couldn't get an answer, it kind of, we thought, well, what are we going to do with this stuff? We can't take it back because nobody's going to get it back to them. We can't just leave it here. What are we going to do? So we knocked on the door next to this particular condominium townhouse, and a young girl answered the door, and she was not receiving a gift box. So I said, well, we're with Christmas cheer. Would you mind taking this in for your neighbor, because we're not going to be able to get back? Oh, most certainly, she said. In the door we go. And out come her children from the living room screaming and hollering, oh, Mommy, Mommy, this is wonderful. And Mother says, no, no, honey, these aren't ours. Well, we stopped right in our tracks. She said, well, just put them under the table there. They'll be fine. So we went outside, and I looked at Ozzy, and I felt really sick at heart for this family because they needed a hamper as badly as anybody else in that complex that we had delivered to. But their name was not on the list, obviously, because there was no box. I said to Ozzy, you know, that's really sad. And he said, yeah, it is. I said, you know something else, too? That lady will not touch one thing in that box. And Ozzy says, you think not? I said, no, she won't. I said, she won't even move anything in there. Anyway, we went along our way, and I said, you know what we could do, though, Oz? We're going back now. We could go back to the store, pack up a couple of boxes, tell her it's from Christmas cheer. How is she going to know any different that it's not from them? And we would come back from the store, which was from Vancouver to New Westminster, and we would have had to come back to Vancouver again. But I said, we can do that. Ozzy said, yeah, we can do that. So we headed back to the church, and as we arrived into the church, somebody said, who delivered the complex such and such and such? And we said, we did. They said, well, somebody moved one of the hampers into the wrong spot. You wouldn't think that maybe you could take it back to the complex. Thank you, God. Of course we could take it back to the complex. So we put it in our truck and we get there. And I knock on the door and the young girl comes in and I said, this time it's Christmas cheer for you. Well, she burst into tears and backed up and sat down on a chair, and we came in. And under the table were the boxes, even with the cookies on the top, little box of cookies that were right on the top, nothing moved. Butter hadn't been moved, the cookies, nothing. Not even to look to see what was in it. And she said, oh, when she recovered from her tearful exercise here, to try to get her emotions straight, she said, oh, thank you, thank you. She said, we didn't know what we were going to have for Christmas. And she said, I looked at those cookies on the top and I thought I could give my cookies to my kids, they'll never miss them. And then I thought, no, if I go through that box and see what's there, I'll be too tempted, so I'm not going to touch anything. And she said, if I gave those cookies to my kids, how am I going to explain to them when it's morally right to steal cookies and when it's not? Is it right to steal them when you're hungry or not? And she said, how would I go on trying to build some morals in my children that it's wrong to steal if I took the cookies that belonged to the neighbor? So I had the children looked at the cookies and I said, sorry, but they don't belong to us, and sent them in my room. So Ozzy and I came out of there and we felt really good about that. That made our whole Christmas. That was the best Christmas, or one of the best Christmases that we ever had. And it really made us consciously aware that people like Elka, who every day are giving of their time, money, and energy to food banks and to organizations that will take food. Some of them won't take any other food than dry food because they can't store it. But I believe that Elka can tell you of a couple of places that if you had leftover turkey, if you had leftover goodies from your party, that any time, year-round, you could go and take that there and they would be saying thank you, because they feed the street people, they feed the people who are falling on hard times. So I would like you to say thank you, God, for what you have. Thank you for the food that's on your table. Not worry about what you don't have, but think about what you do have and say thank you for that. And then think a little bit about the people that don't even have maybe the little that you have. And share that with people year-round, not just at Christmas time. And I'd like to tell you that in the center of your folder, there's a little letter from Ozzy and I thanking everybody and wishing you a Merry Christmas. Please take that home with you. And I'd say God bless you, and we hope that you will support the chapel in 2009. Thank you. Well, back to the lighter side now again. And what I'd like to do now is to do the announcements. Next week that we are going to have the New Year's one, and New Year's is the beginning for people. That's New Year's resolutions, beginning for new things. And the chapel is now a year old as far as the online chapel, and we are starting into our second year there. And we have had a year or 6 months in this location, and so we're hoping that we can serve you through the next time. Any birthdays or anniversaries here? Anybody? And anybody here for the first time other than maybe my son and my granddad? Okay, if one of the ministers would give out training. Ministers training would give out the welcome package. We have a little welcome package, and if you haven't had one and you're a regular here, you pick one up anyway because we were a little late at getting them for the beginning of the chapel. We'd like you to join us for a little hour of celebration. We have up to an hour after the service. Cookies and a great deal of wonderful tarts, and I don't know, everybody's brought something nice. And when we're finished with it, if there's any left over, we maybe can send it to some of the people that would appreciate it, that aren't getting any goodies this Christmas. And what else do I want to mention? We're going to have the offering song, which is Good King Wenceslas. I always put Wenceslas off Colossus Lissus, because nobody can ever really say how much. And it's in the center, and we'll respond to Christmas offering.
How many buttons?
The first three, I guess. That's fine. Unless everybody. Okay, now we're going to have a little treat. I have to ask a question. Did you bring your drum with you? Good. We're going to have Derrick and Alka are going to give us a little drumming to celebrate the birth of Christ.
You guys ever heard native drumming before? The songs that we sing are very similar to traditional. And
Yeah. You need to chair, you can stand. Nice to stand.
in a traditional way, when I was a kid, we were taught that we found out the First Nations people, actually the first people that brought in the Christmas tree, that they discovered it Because basically back in those years, we had teepees, so when we had the spruce tree, it fit right inside. And when we had it sit, and the wife never had to worry about where to put it, which corner, there was no corner. But she would sit it in the center of the teepee, and then when it dried out, we just burned it right there. Kept it warm all the time. So the thing is that it's a good story we share because it lets people know what's going on. But a lot of our Christmases when I was a kid growing up, ours were pretty well the same as everybody else. We were very poor ourselves, and my dad would actually not go out and buy a tree. He'd go out in the bush and he'd take me with him, and we'd go and cut that tree. How many of you guys actually cut trees before? With your dad and your mom? Yeah. So as he went out and go cut a tree, he had to find which size, Dad would approve for our house that we were living at the time, because we did a lot of moving around. And so Poppy would go find a tree, and I'd go with him all the time. It's always in the snow, because this is in Manitoba. This is not here. So we're always in deep snow. So some parts of Manitoba, you could not cut trees, or some bylaws. So Dad would say, well, let's go somewhere that most people can't cut, or can't go cut a tree. So we go about 10 miles out of town, and we go find ourselves a tree. And he'd always come home with a big one, never a small tree. And Mom used to always, my dad and my mom used to always say, well, we don't have enough decorations. And Dad says, well, we've got plenty of decorations, we just make them. And that's what we did. We used to actually, if you remember when we were kids, we used to get paper and glue paper into ringlets and connect them like a chain. And that's that's our Christmas tree. That was our wreath. That was our, if you guys know what it was like. We never had all these fancy things in the stores you buy now today. Everybody just goes big. We did everything from scratch. And that was the most fun, because you participated in Christmas. It wasn't just something that you say, I gotta go buy that and bring it home and put it in the tree. And that's what I remember the best part of my life. So, there is a song that I actually sang with a couple friends of mine that, I'm not sure if you remember the fellow folks there. They were Poncho and Sal. You know those guys? You ever been? Well, Poncho's daughter became very, very sick, and she almost lost her life. And they had to leave the country to get fixed because our country won't help her. So even though he's been living here in Canada for almost 20 years, and he's considered a Canadian citizen, but our country won't help her because she was born in Argentina, it would not do her benefit her. So he had to go back to his own country to help her to get better. And she had a bad problem with her heart. So they did a story about them in the paper, about the daughter needing help, and they need some help to get out there to help support their daughter because of the issues that are going on. But it happened around Christmas time. And as far as I understand it, she's doing quite well. But it had to take a lot of prayers and people's assistance. Even sometimes we have to help people from outside the country to help people actually work for one here. So it happens in every part of the world. But to celebrate, when one song, when Poncho and I sat, we did a multicultural wellness show I put on about 8-9 years ago at the Delview Shoppers Mall before it became this new Shoppers Mall up in Delta. And they gave us the whole pharmacy that was emptied out, and we took the whole place, and I set up, we had 50 vendors in there, and I brought in multicultural musicians. So I had musicians come in and play from all across the world. And we did the very first show, multicultural show for Christmas. We were so loud, I will say loud, in our music, because the music was really good. People loved it. The only people that didn't like our show too much was the bankers, because they couldn't hear their phones ringing. But it was just a few, it wasn't very many. But when we did play, Poncho always wanted to sing a song in his own language. And this is how it goes. Yes. in my relative's language. We give in thanks to our God, the Creator, to the Great Spirit, and it's in the language of Cree. And I want to share the words with you. It's very simple words. Okay. So basically, the word we say miigwech. You can say the name miigwech. Means thank you. Right? Miigwech means thank you. That's in Cree. And the other words are Gitchi Manitou. Gitchi Manitou means Great Spirit, God. So miigwech, Gitchi Manitou. And it goes like this.
see we've got a multicultural church here as well as interdenominational, so this is really great. It's nice to be able to share cultures and traditions and things from different people, and we encourage anybody who has any kind of talent or has any kind of stories that they want to share with us from time to time when we have these special events. Just let us know, and we'll certainly give you the platform to do that. Now, it's my pleasure to do one more thing before we close, and that is to give a gift here to each of our musicians. And this one is to Celia. So thank you for all the gifts that you give us each week. And for Jean.
My goodness. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the I would like to thank Jean and Celia and Iris, who I have her little present put away, and for giving us gifts every Sunday. We get gifts from them with the gift of music, and help us to be able to celebrate every week this wonderful service. I'd also like to ask if you would join me in a circle, and we are going to play, first of all, a tape of Dick Slamin singing Our Father. So when we're in the circle with our candles, we will join him singing that, and then we're going to ask Jean, you can play Here We Come and Walk them, and do the walking. So we can turn your candles out if you like. That would be easier. Just set them on the table. Yeah, no, they're fine. Set them on the table. Yeah, everybody can just put their candles on the table. And we're going to play the Our Father. You going to come to join the circle, or are you going to sit down? We're going to go in the circle. And then we're going to do the waffling song. Most people know this is Derrick Slamin, who founded Leonard here. And I thought we would move a little bit with this. New Year's